guys. Welcome to Seek Choose Be. So excited to have you here. For this episode, I'm excited to let you into the personal side of my journey a little bit more, share some more details with you in hopes that it helps others out there. I've really become really passionate about sharing the things I've learned over these past several years of navigating um, anxiety and depression. I now label it more anxious thoughts and feelings and depressed thoughts and feelings as opposed to labeling myself being depressed or being anxious. And that is a huge tool in overcoming this, is to not label ourselves that. I'm not depressed. I'm not anxious. I have depressed thoughts. I have depressed feelings from time to time. I have feelings I don't know how to navigate yet. That is something. I have feelings now that I do know how to navigate, and they still come sometimes, and they're not fun because they can be anxious feelings and thoughts and depressive thoughts and feelings. Um, but switching the label is a huge first tip I can give anyone out there right now, is to stop saying those words. I have depression. Did someone hand it to you? Did they give it to you? Like, don't take that. That's not a gift. Give it back, right? I don't have it. I have depressive thoughts and feelings, and I'm learning how to navigate them. I'm learning what to do, or I don't know what to do yet, and I'm seeking for answers. I'm seeking for help. I'm seeking for hope. Um, this topic is near and dear to my heart because I've walked through hell. I have, and I've had loved ones walk through hell with me, and I am forever grateful for that. Um, I wish having those thoughts and feelings, you could hand it to somebody next to you so they could feel exactly what it feels like, because it doesn't always show physically to others. It's not a limp. It's not something we can put a cast on. It's not an easy fix all the time, and it can be so outside of our control. Um, and that can be very hard. It's hard to explain to people sometimes, and it can be very scary because you don't know if you're going to get the help you need. You don't know if they're going to think you're crazy or if you're just faking it or just being lazy because you don't want to get out of bed. Like, those are all hard things to navigate. I do think that as a culture, as a society, it's better than when I was younger growing up. This wasn't talked about a lot. Um, and so I think a lot of people experienced and didn't even know what it was, right? I know I definitely had tendencies throughout being a teenager and things like that, but didn't know what to label it, how to talk about having anxiety around things. And so it wasn't until I was, around 20 that I was even diagnosed with depression. Mine came after I had my first baby. So I got married pretty young. I was married at 19, had my daughter at 20. And I remember always wanting to be my mom, have this baby. And I just hit a point after she was born where life just didn't feel okay. And I didn't feel okay. And I remember going to the doctor just because I felt down and hopeless, and him having me take this little test and saying, okay, you have mild to moderate depression. And I'm like, okay, like that sounds fixable. It's not severe. And then that started my journey with antidepressants. That's kind of the route a lot of doctors go when you go in, is to get you on something. And I'm not on here to tell you what to do or to diss something or tell you not to do something. I'm just sharing what my path went through of my experience. And I will say, what works for one doesn't work for another. Like, you have to find your path. I will say that going on antidepressants is kind of this roller coaster of, you get on one that they think will work for you, and then you go back several weeks later, check in to see how it's going. If it's not doing anything, you up the dose. Or at some point they might switch you to another one. You might get going where it feels like it's helping, and then all of a sudden it's not. So then they want to up your dose again, or, so it's just this roller coaster of things like that. And so I will say, for the next, oh gosh, like decade, next 10 years of raising my kids, I was all the things of going to doctors, trying to navigate medicine that would help curb that feeling and help me be okay. What I didn't know during that time was the other steps I could take to help myself as well, that I learned later on through going to a mentor that really opened my eyes to communication and how I communicated with myself and the things that I could do differently, and to really get into those beliefs that were in my head and really start to shift those in a way that was powerful and impactful for me. And so those are the tools and the skills that I want to really get out and share with other people, because I think sometimes they get overlooked so much, and they really are powerful and helpful. I did go to a therapist, psychologist early on, and she was talking about negative thoughts that you have and shifting those, and I didn't really tune into how impactful it could be to get into that topic and really change that. So I feel like I just kind of heard it in one ear out the other, thinking, okay, like I'll be more positive. Got it. And that's not really all that was. And I wish now I would have listened more or known, but I don't even know if she presented in a way that like really resonated with me at the time. I just remember when I finally tuned into, hey, my thoughts aren't all real and I need to really navigate and take control of what's going on up here, was when I was actually at the movie theater. I was watching Hunger Games, the third movie, when PETA gets taken by the Capitol and they inject him with Tracker Jacker venom, which is like a hallucinogenic type thing and can kind of make you feel crazy. And then they were putting more thoughts in his mind to try and convince him that Katniss, who he actually loved, had tried to kill him and hurt his family, and that you hate her. And so by the time they saved him and got him back from these people, his brain was completely confused of what was real and what wasn't. So he hated this woman that he loved and so was trying to pull himself back and navigate what's real and what's not real. So they started playing this game where he would say, your favorite color is green, real or not real. And I remember sitting in the theater and it just dawned on me of like, I started crying because I was like, I don't know which thoughts of mine are real and which aren't, because I get in these modes where everything feels dark and hopeless, and then I get in these modes where everything feels great, and it makes me feel crazy, and oh, I should be playing this game and saying, is that real or not real? And it was that weird, strange moment in a theater of resonating that I'm PETA. I am this PETA character and I need to navigate my thoughts. And that started my journey right there with, how do I do this? How do I navigate these thoughts? So then, and I don't know the time frame. I'm trying to remember the time frame of when I met the mentor that I've been around a lot, that's taught me a lot. Michael Murnoff. You guys can all look him up. You can go to his events if you want. It's amazing. He truly has spent his time to really hone in on how we navigate those things. And I appreciate that so much, because that is where at one of his events, we were supposed to write down our beliefs. So sitting in this room with a lot of people taking this event, and I'm looking at this page, and I remember writing down my belief that was in my head. It was like, what do you really believe in there? Like, and it was, I'm not enough. I don't matter. And I'm looking at this page going, is that really think? And I knew in my head, I don't matter. Like I don't matter. And that phrase, it took me several years to work around, because everything that would come up that was hard, my husband would be like, it's because you think you don't matter. And I was like, oh my gosh, shoot. Shoot, you're right. Like it all stemmed back to that. I don't matter. I'm not good enough. And oh gosh, there's so much more to it, you guys. But I remember just starting to break down and cry. I had this gal next to me that was helping me with the exercise when I was doing this. I don't matter is my belief. And it was like, I knew in that moment I was creating these thoughts and I was hindering myself from growth. I wanted things. I wanted big things. I wanted to put myself out there. I wanted to be happy. And yet I was limiting myself to myself. Nope, you don't matter. You don't get to do that. That's for other people. That's not for you. And it was such a sad moment. But in that moment, I was able to shift and be like, wow, I'm the problem. I'm the problem because I've allowed these thoughts and I believe them. And I've hindered myself from ever going after anything that could be big or powerful or something in my life, because I don't think I'm worth it. I don't think anyone else thinks I'm worth it. And I didn't think that I mattered enough for that to even happen. And so I had spent all this time being this people pleaser up until that moment, trying to show people that I matter, making them love me. It's almost like this desperate person that I need you to like me. I'm going to shift and be whatever you need me to be, bend over backwards to make sure that I am loved, that I'm okay, so that I don't get rejected by anybody, even though I was pretty much rejecting myself, right? I was rejecting myself before anyone else could and making myself work so much harder to make sure that nobody else would reject me. And I was pretty darn good at it. I will say I was good at it. And I loved being around people. I loved helping people. But there are boundaries and ways to do it that are healthy. And I was not doing it in a healthy way all the time. And I was not empowering myself to say, hey, I'm this person that can be an influential person around others and help them. It was more like, hey, I'm enjoying the attention I get from this. It makes me feel good. And then I don't have to give myself attention and help myself feel better because somebody else can do it for me. So it was just this crazy battle with all of that. So I know there's a lot of you out there struggling with wanting to be happy in your life, wanting more, maybe feeling looked over, that nobody sees you, maybe feeling like you're alone or that nothing good works out for you, feeling like, hey, all these people are prettier or have more money or are more talented than I am, whatever's in your brain, right? We all have those things that can creep up. It's if we allow them to stay and if they're true. Now, this is the tricky part because you are going to have things in your head that it's like your head holds this trial where if you say, hey, I'm not smart, it's going to go look for all the things that prove you're not smart. And then it feels like it has evidence to be like, yeah, I know that's true. But if you told yourself, oh my gosh, I'm so smart, your brain would start looking for evidence that you're smart. And then you have that to back it up. So that's the tricky part, is if you've said anything in your head for years, it might be hard to disprove that to your head for a moment. So you really have to dig in deep and start somewhere where something that you can resonate with. So I went from thinking I don't matter to I'm somebody that can do good things, right? I show up and I can do good things for people. It had nothing to do with if I mattered or right. But we have to start with something that we can keep saying in our head that we can believe. So I'm not going to flop from, oh, I think I'm fat to, oh, hey, I'm so skinny. Like that's not going to be the truth, right? But I might feel like, oh, I'm so fat and whatever people think this about me, to, hey, I have a body that functions and I get to get up every day and stand on my own 2 feet. Like that's huge. Not everybody gets to do that. And if you're out there and you don't get to do that, think of the things you do get to do because you still have something somebody else doesn't, right? So we want to start with those things and start to navigate towards every day. The things that go on in our head are not the things that are beating us up and putting us down and keeping us small and in a corner, and these beliefs that our brain just wants to hold on to so much. I don't know if you've noticed, but our brains can tend to be pretty negative. And that's just because our brain is trying to protect us and keep us safe, right? So it's always looking for patterns and things that it knows. So if we have a pattern of thinking something's going to go bad, our brain's going to automatically assume it's going to go bad. So we want to feed it with other things to think about or to push past when our brain is afraid and wants to stop, and really talking to our brain and talking through that and doing things anyway so that we can create a new pattern. So if you allow your brain to control yourself, control those thoughts and control what you do, you may always live in fear and not do anything and not have a desire to do anything. And there may be some of you out there that have no desire to change, that are just afraid of everything and people, and they're like, I just want to be left alone in my home. Great. But are you happy doing that? And are you truly happy? Or would you like to think there's something else out there that you can push past and do a little bit more? I'm not saying change your whole life and get up on a stage or create a podcast or do anything huge that has to be way, way out there. I'm just saying a little bit more than what you've already done, a little bit more than what you're used to. I love when I get to watch people grow, watch my children tackle things that are hard and just gain these skills. You guys, there is so much inside you can still do. So those of you out there that are struggling right now, I'm going to put some things out there to help you through those really rough days, because they're going to come. They are. But there's going to be some really good days. And there are people out there in this world that need you, whether you know them right now or there's something in your future. But there is always something good that's going to come. There's what's the phrase? The best is yet to come. You've done a lot of good things. You've had some good things, or maybe you haven't, but there's some best right around the corner to experience. I promise you. Even though we can't see it, we don't know what it is, it's there. And you're going to be so glad you stuck around for it, worked hard for it, and you're going to reap those benefits. I promise you. And sometimes we're right in the middle of what we wanted. You might have a family right now. You might have a job you really love right now. something in your life might actually be going really good, but yet you might feel burnt out or be struggling in another area. And sometimes it just takes a little peek inside of there, a little shift of how we're looking at it, and a revamp to get us energized again in our life. It doesn't have to be rocket science, you guys. There are subtle things we can do that can get us the things that we want and help us to be happy in our lives every day, I promise you. And who says we have to be immensely happy every day, right? It doesn't have to be like that. If you want that, then that's something that we seek. I will say the more we throw fun into our life, that can add happiness and joy. Just taking the time to have fun, to get away from the serious, or stop making it so hard and serious sometimes, and look for the fun in what you're already doing. That can be huge. So I've gotcha. I've been where you're at. If you're one struggling right now and you're like, you don't get it. When I was in the depressive modes, it would literally hurt. It's like this gaping hole in my chest, and I wouldn't have all the faculties about me to handle life like I normally would. I felt like a different person. And it was just hard to get up every day, but I didn't want to be that person that stayed in bed, and it was like fighting this huge uphill battle every day just to show up. And it's so hard because you may show up at work and people just don't know what it took to get there. And that having this little interaction at work that was hard was 10 times harder that day because you just didn't feel right. And it's like, I just needed one less thing, or I don't feel like myself. So to tackle something just feels so hard. That can be so hard to do day in and day out. And you might feel tired out there. You might say, I'm so sick of fighting. I'm so tired. I just want rest. I want you to just take a breath and give yourself a break. And what that looks like is letting go of anything your brain is saying, yeah, but you have to do this and you have to show up for this and you have to. No, we're going to cut way back. Do we have to show up to this? What can I let go of right now? I need a little bit of time to get back to feeling like myself. I need some rest. It's almost like when you get sick or anything and you just have to be like, oh, I got to tap out, you guys. This is a really bad sickness. And it can be hard to do when nobody else can see how you're feeling, what you're thinking. And we don't want to tap out for good. Definitely don't want to tap out for good. And we don't want to tap out forever. We just want to take like ease off. So we're not going to show up as, let's say, the person that is always, like for me, always cooking a healthy meal for my family, and then, going and visiting other people and taking other people things. I'm up here and I can handle all these situations. Some days I'm like way down here. It's like, okay, everybody find your own dinner, or we're having cereal. That's okay too. That's success too. It doesn't have to look like this all the time. Sometimes it's this. And it's like, oh, you needed help with that? You know what? I can't do that right now. I'm so sorry. Is there somebody else who can help you? Great. You know what? Ask me again later and I'd be happy to help. I just can't right now. It's okay to be this person too. And this, I'm saying amazing person, because everyone sees this. This person is holding it together, doing everything amazing. And then we hit these moments where it's like our body and our brains just aren't in alignment and things aren't going, and we're tired and we're just struggling because we want to show up as this person, but we're down here. So if we're down here, what things do we do to just make life work until we can get ourselves back to feeling better? So it's not going to look the same, you guys, and it's okay. And both of them mean you're a thriving adult doing great things. They do. It's called taking stock of where you're at and adjusting for that moment. It's like having a season. There's a season where I get to do this and a season where I need to wait. If my kids are all little, I may not have a season of where I get to go do whatever I want all the time, right? And I might have to compensate and not do as much, or work out at home instead of going to the gym all the time, or, whatever it may be. But then once my kids get older, I can shift, and that's my season to really do more things. And so it's just like, what season are we in? So if you're out there and you're super struggling right now, I want you to hold on. I want you to take a breath and do what you can to just give yourself a break. I want you to open your mouth and tell those closest to you, if you have those people in your life, what is going on. And you don't have to get all dramatic. Just be like, you know what? I'm feeling this, this, and this. I feel like I need to step back a little bit. I just need some help and some support. I just need a hug, whatever it is. But be really honest, and it's okay, because the people that love you are going to try and help you with that. Now, I say that I hated the other side of it. The weird thing is I didn't like the attention. I didn't want to tell people I was struggling, because then then they pay attention to you and it's like, but I'm okay now, so go away. That's just something to navigate, and it is part of it, but you have to be willing to go through it because you do need support. Guys, this stuff is no joke. Don't go through it alone if you don't have to. And if you are out there and you feel like you don't have support, I want you to really think about if that's true. Is there anybody out there that you don't even have to be super close to that maybe can help give you relief, or join some sort of group that gives you connection with people, a congregation of a church, just some connection with people that can help too. I will say most of you out there probably have somebody you can reach out to, but if you feel like you don't, I want you to get really open to, okay, how can I just connect with people? Because they found in studies that a lot of people just need connection that have been depressed, that connection is what really helps to heal, is to be connected to people. And it's more of a social thing. So keep in mind, when you have depressive thoughts or anxiousness, it's going to want to isolate you. Your brain will want to isolate, and that's the last thing you want to do. You can for a day or a night or a moment, and then you get yourself right back there with people. And as hard as it is, as weird as it feels, as much as you can, just keep doing your regular routine. Just keep whatever the next step is. Just keep doing the next right thing, right? The next best step. Like from Frozen, where she, Anna thinks she's lost Elsa, and she's feeling lost and alone. Olaf is gone. And she's like, I'm dark and it's dark and I'm alone. What do I do? And she's like, I'm just going to do the next right step. And so that is my mantra in those days is, okay, what's next? And not even what's next as opposed to what can I take off my plate? Okay, I do have to do this. So this is next. So I'll just do this next step. And then I just know that in the next day, in the next week, in the next hour, at some point, my body and my mind are going to adjust and I'm going to feel okay again. So I just wait for that moment. Does it suck? Yes. Did I feel like hell? Yes. But guess what? I know you because you're probably like me and you've probably walked through hell a time or two. And you know what I mean when I say hell. Those feelings feel like hell. Oh my gosh, do they? And I know how strong you are because you are still here and you have walked through that hell. And there are times when you're like, please don't let me have to walk through that hell again. And guess what? You might have to at some point. But you keep doing one step in front of the other because you're going to come out of that hell, because you always do. And I promise you, you will. So I need you to believe that. I need you to believe in your strength because you're here. It shows how strong you are. I need you to just lean in when you're tired and just take care of you and let go of things that you need to. Open your mouth to someone you love and do the next right step until you keep going step after step until everything just aligns and you start to feel better. There are other steps you can take to going to a doctor if you think you need medication for that. You can go to a therapist. You can just change your pattern. Go do something fun. Binge watch a TV show. I do that several times. And I know when I'm like, I'm just done. My brain needs to not think and I need something that makes me feel comfy and okay. My couch with a really good show is totally okay. And it doesn't make you lazy, I promise. So it's just getting through those moments to get back to where we feel okay and we can handle it. Because there's moments when we do feel like it's paper thin, our strength is, and we're hanging on. And then pretty soon it starts to build back up because our brain starts to shift to a different state where it can handle more. So it's just getting through that little thin strength where our state of mind is just so far gone and things hurt so bad. And just knowing, I want you to cling to that hope. I know it's going to pass. I know it's going to pass. I'm going to give myself rest. I'm not going to think anymore. I'm just going to let it be. And I'm going to do any little thing I need to do, but I'm going to give myself grace and a moment, and I'm going to tell people around so I can have support. Please let yourself have support, even if it feels awkward to you, please. But here's the reality. There are people on this earth, in this life, right now, ahead in time, that need your influence, your power, your strength, and don't underestimate that your absence in this world will leave a hole in their life that cannot be filled by anybody else. And you might tell me, nope, that's not true for me, but I guarantee you there's somebody and you don't know it. So please, please, please Don't underestimate that you matter, that you belong here, that you need to be here, and that fighting this will be the best thing you ever did in your life, because there is so much to come. And I want you to cling to that. I want you to hope that. And I want you to believe that with your whole entire soul. Even if every ounce of your being doesn't want to believe a word I'm saying, you matter. You are strong enough. You can get through this. You know the things to help you. You know who to reach out to. You can open your mouth and you will get through this. And there is so much ahead. Good things come to you. They are coming. They are ahead. And you can do this. You've done it before. You'll do it again. It will pass. It will pass. I need you to believe that. I need you to say that. And I need you to cling to hope and the strength that you have. You are so strong. You are a warrior. It's so fascinating to hear stories of war, because I think, what do those warriors think when they're stepping onto a battlefield, stepping into battle, knowing this could be their last breath? They're going to come up against something that who knows if they're strong enough to defeat. But what are they fighting for? When they're fighting for something they believe in so strongly, their family, their home, their freedom to live and to believe and love and whatever, when you have that fight and that passion of knowing, I would die for this, right? That I will fight to the death for this. I need you to be that warrior and fight to the death for your life, because that's what you're in right now. If you are so far down, that's what you're doing. I've been there. I fought for my life and I fought hard and I won. And you're going to win too. That's why I'm here. I want you to know the things and the tools and the steps that can get you there. And it is not as hard as you think. It just is going to feel hard because you're fighting a big battle. And a lot of it's just up here, you guys. And a lot of it just takes time and allowing yourself to be till that passes in your mind and you can think clearly again. Sometimes it's just a game of time. And I don't even want to say game, battle. It's a battle. There's so much more I can say about this, but that's why I'm here on this platform. That's why I'm starting what I'm doing to reach the masses, even if it's just one that is experiencing this and needs help, needs hope, needs guidance, like I did. You will get through this. You're going to thrive on the other side. There's so much you're going to do. There's so much inside of you. And it's just crazy when things get miswired and patterns in our brains and we don't know how to say the right things to get us to what we need. And that can be hard and overwhelming sometimes, but I'm right here with you. So the first thing I need you to do is just to have that hope and to start to shift the words that you say to yourself. Number one, you are not going to put yourself down. You're not. You are a person that belongs on this planet. You have skills and abilities that maybe you haven't developed completely yet, but you matter. You have strength. You have thoughts in your head. You can create things. And I bet there's at least one thing you can think of that's amazing in your life that you've done, you've said, you did, you're proud of, you're confident in something. It can be small. I don't care what it is. But you are a person that matters and belongs on this planet. I need you to believe that and cling to that. Number two, you are a strong and capable person. Strength doesn't always look like what people think. It's not somebody lifting 1,000 pounds of weight. It's not somebody that shows up and beats somebody up. It's not always in the physical, right? A strong person is somebody who can go through something and keep persevering, gets back up when they fall down, get something that comes at them that could feel hard and keeps going until they figure out an answer. That is strength, my friends, and you have it in you, and you've already done it. You have, and you know you have. So I want you to remember a time when you had to have strength like that. Like, I'm going to wait. You're going to think right now of a time you had that kind of strength. And you don't have to explain it to anybody. I've had several times where I just didn't want to get up and go to work. And I made myself get up and go to work. That's strength. Just get yourself up and go until it feels better. Just keep going, keep doing that step. So think of your moment, and I want you to think, I did that once, I can do it again. And guess what? The more you do it, the less you'll have to do it, because you'll get stronger at it. And pretty soon you're like, oh, and then occasionally it'll pop up again and you'll have to kind of dig a little deeper and you're like, oh wait, I know how to tackle this. It'll become easier over time, I promise. And then there might be little setbacks here or there, but then you're like, wait, I have the skills for this. I'm good. And then pretty soon you've become a whole different person that doesn't have to fight the same battle anymore. That's what I went through. That's where I'm at. That's why I'm here telling you, because there is hope on the other side. There is change. There is difference, a different outcome, and a whole different life waiting for you. It starts right here with the work that you do for yourself. So we're not talking bad to ourselves anymore. That was number one. Number two, we're going to know that we're a strong person and we're going to get through this. Number three, I want you to play a game. Who doesn't like games? When negative thoughts come up, when hard things come up, I want you to look at me relaxing, like we're playing a game. We're just shooting the breeze. Sorry, for those of you listening, I'm like leaning back in my chair for the video that I'm recording. I won't lean back. I want you to play a game. I want you to, anytime things get rough, I want you to see how fast you can pull yourself out of it. And by that, I mean, you're going to have a day where you get up and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not feeling it today. I feel like nobody likes me. Or I'm just not having a good hair day. Allow yourself to feel those emotions and then be like, okay, I felt it. How do I get myself out of it? What do you do when you're having a bad day? I don't know about you. Sometimes I like to get myself a treat. Sometimes I crank up the music in the car or at home and I dance and I sing or I'll call a friend and be like, hey, let's go do something fun. Or I go see a movie or I talk to a friend or a loved one. Might read a good book. Hey, when I get home tonight, I'm going to rewatch my favorite show. I'm going to go to bed earlier tonight, give myself rest. Whatever it is that you do that is your pick-me-up. I'm going to go exercise. Okay, we'll give you a healthy one. I'm like, eat a treat. I'm going to go exercise tonight. Maybe I just need to move my body, go for a walk. I mean, the list is endless. Some of you like to sew. Some of you like to play video games. Some of you like to write. Someone else might like to garden. Maybe it's like, oh, I haven't gardened in a while. Maybe I should do that. Like something to be excited about. I want you to do the things in your life that perk you up, that bring you joy, that can shift your mood. We're basically shifting our mood, changing our pattern. Drive a different way home. Stop somewhere on the way home. Do something fun for somebody. Maybe give a service to somebody. Go see a family member you haven't seen in a while. Surprise somebody. Just do something that's fun for you. Okay? So that's going to be that step. That can shift you so fast, you guys. Our patterns are real. The stories we have in our head can feel so real because we've created the patterns and the stories that give us our results. And we need to get in and shift those stories and those patterns, and you will get a different result. So that's really what we're going to hone in and work on. I will have more podcasts about how to do that. And I'll be having like a workshop or a course coming up in the next little bit about those things, so we can really delve into it and get better at that skill, because it is a skill. But that's where you want to start, is in those areas, and shifting. You are no longer a bully to yourself. You are your own cheerleaders and your own best friend. So start talking like one. Start acting like one. And if you're in a habit of putting yourself down, I want you to catch yourself every time, and I want you to redo it. Oh, I'm so stupid. I made that mistake. Oh. A friend and a cheerleader wouldn't say that. What would they say? Oh my gosh, you're human. You just made a mistake. Good for you. What'd you learn? But along the lines of when I said play a game, I want you to play a game of how fast you can switch your mood. I'm down and I'm going to feel it. And then I'm going to be like, oh, how quick can I turn this around? How can I turn my day around? I had a rough little moment, but not a whole day, right? And I'm going to turn around and do something fun. I'm going to recognize my gifts and responsibilities and strengths I have at work and step into that day and be like, you know what? I'm going to own this. I'm going to do this. You can totally shift your mood. And I know that because I was taught that. I went to a therapist and it was bothering me that I would not say nice things to my husband sometimes. I would just feel in this mood, and it was almost like taking it out on him. And I said, I feel like I can't control it. And she's like, I don't believe you. And I was like, excuse me? She goes, if you were in the heat of whatever you're telling your husband, and your bishop or pastor, whoever you want to say for whatever you do for your religion, but if he called and was talking to you, would you be saying those things to him? And I said, no, of course not. She goes, yeah, you would probably sound nice to him. And I said, yep. So she said, you can turn it off. It just depends on if you want to, right? And that just shocked me so much, of how much sometimes we allow ourselves to treat somebody a certain way. because they love us, because they take it from us, but they shouldn't. And that I have to control that enough and work on controlling those emotions and communicating in a better way to my husband, and not because I'm in a mode. Because if I'm in a bad mood, then I need to tell him, hey, I'm in a bad mood and I just want to say mean things. So I probably shouldn't be around you because it's not about you. And I apologize for that. So I'm just going to go to bed early, right? That's me taking ownership and control over it, as opposed to letting every little thing get to me and taking it out on him. Now, sometimes we can't always remove ourselves from the situation. So we still have to do things that can like lower that for us. Um, because the reality too that I hated was I couldn't show up as a horrible person and just blame it because I was depressed or anxious. I still said and did those things, and it still hurt somebody, and I still had to own up to that, and that was really hard for me, and it really sucked to turn around and have to apologize for those things and then have it happen again another time. And so I knew needed to really work on that, because somebody I love doesn't need to stick around with me if I'm not treating them the way that they should be treated just because I'm struggling. So I say that because we're going to delve into that too, guys, is having depressive thoughts and anxious thoughts doesn't give us a green light to treat people horribly. And it's trying to get a control on those emotions and to not take things as personal and not take things out on everybody around us, even if we feel so justified in it at the time. Because when I would be in these modes, I would think, oh, I'm so justified. He's doing this and blah, 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 blah. And then I would come out of it and think, why did I feel so justified to say that to him? That's not okay. And so just navigating that. So the cool thing is that I'm excited is that I'm going to have, obviously this podcast is not just mine. I have my husband on here with me, and he will jump in from time to time. And we are going to navigate this and share our insight and journey of having a relationship around having somebody that's depressed and anxious sometimes, and what to do with that. But I really just wanted to do this one to really reach out to those of you that are super down and super struggling right at this moment, to start to do the things to get yourself help. You probably have loved ones around you that come in and swoop and save the day, and I love that, but only allow them to do that a little bit. And then I need you to step in and start taking the steps to get yourself better too. They're just there for the moments you really can't pull yourself up. And then after that, it's up to you to start pulling yourself up. And you can, and you will, and you've got this. Because the last thing you want to do is end your time here on this earth. Nobody wants you to do that. And I've got more insights around that that I'm going to be sharing. But I will say, if you've ever seen the aftermath of somebody choosing that, and I say that with respect because, guys, this stuff is hard. I get when people think that's the only option, but it's not. Our brains just make us think it is. And it's like this tunnel vision where you're not focused on the full picture. So if you get in that mode, don't let it win. Just stop thinking. Give yourself rest. Let somebody know. And then start to do the work to shift your patterns in your mind so that you don't get so far gone. It's just such a tough battle, but you can win it. I promise you can. So, my heart goes out to all of you out there. I know what it feels like. I know what the struggle can feel like, but I know what joy can feel like, and hope, and help. And that's out there too. I need you to believe in it. You need you to believe in that and keep hanging on to that strength and hope that there is more ahead. Just listening to my voice, sitting here, listening to the things that I'm saying, you're starting to realize that there is that glimmer of hope inside of you. You're starting to see that strength that you've had in there, and it's starting to ease up just a little bit to where you know you have the strength and the power to change. Just a little bit of a shift, enough to ease the burden a little bit, make the battle a little bit easier, and to keep fighting, because you know that person inside of you is ready for so much more in their life. And guess what? Right on the other side of having kind of a hard battle is always something better, something that's worth sticking around for and being around for. So keep fighting that battle, keep hanging in there. And guess what? Not every day is as big a fight. So just give yourself rest and know the next day will not feel as hard. And then the next day will not feel as hard. And then it might bump up a little bit, but you'll be like, hey, I know this is going to go away and it's going to get better. So hang in there with me, guys. I gotcha. You've got you, more importantly. It's not just about me, it's about you. And understanding that you can count on you, that there is so much inside of you. And you've already done some cool things in your life, I promise, and some things that are pretty dang strong, and some things that other people have been influenced by. And they need you there in their life, and they need you around to be somebody that's there for them too. And you're going to do that. You're going to be able to do all of that because guess what? You have it inside of you. It's in there. And we're just going to tap into it more and more. It's just a shift. It's a shift in our thinking and our patterns, and a shift in the actions that we take. And you will get there, I promise. So hang in there, guys. I'll talk to you soon.